Shalom, my good people. How y'all doing today? We're going to start this video off by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, our Father, and his son, Yahawashi. And then all, love to my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. Today, man, we're going to talk about the humiliation that black people go through, our people here, and how it is in the so-called hood and other places. If you look online, you see people making fun of one another in a combative verbal sport, sigging, firing, old school people like to call it capping, roasting, flaming, all that good stuff. People don't know the origins of it and where it stems from. And it comes from slavery. Yes, it comes from slavery. They call it dozen. So the term dozen, we shouldn't even use that term because that was created in an attack towards the so-called black man and black woman. This was during the slave trade, man. This was during the slave trade, so it was in New Orleans where they would, the slaves that was disobedient, right, fighting back, standing up for themselves, they would bunch them together and try to mutilate them and humiliate them also, but mutilate them and put them in 12 and sell them as a dozen to slave owners. And then that was the lowest form because it was humiliating to do that, and it somehow triggered into the black community. Like I say, man, all the time, this have been psychologically engineered into our brains to think that things is okay. When you look at these kids today, they do this, flaming, roasting, talking about one another, talking about the discrepancies between one partner, and they will, get in groups and talk about each other. Y'all know how it was in high school. Y'all know how it is now. Middle school, elementary, ever since you was a kid, you were being made fun of and, just being humiliated in front of people. And now you know where the term come from. In 1939, they used to do it heavily, and that's where, they just start making names for it. Black people coming together just to make fun of each other, in a crowd of people are in your neighborhood to, one of them stop, that's what you keep going to one stop, or somebody get violent, you wonder why you always got mad if somebody, y'all just, talking about each other and somebody say your mama and stuff like that, and you get mad and you want to fight, and then the fight breaks out, because it was meant for that to happen. That's what the Caucasian man, he embedded that into, your psyche, since, we been over here, so that's why it's so bad for y'all to be doing that, to be singing and flaming and joking on one another, because it stems from racism. It's systemic racism. Systemic racism. It goes all the way back into the slave trade. They would sell them as a dozen, for humiliation, and people would laugh, and they would talk about, the things that they were going through and how they tried to mutilate them. And, they put that in our kids' mind. They think it's okay to go to school where, it's a place to learn. And they would talk very, very bad about people. I myself, a long time ago, we talking about, 15, 16, 17 years or something like that. It's a very long time ago. I used to be, I've mastered it. I mastered the art. I was the funniest guy probably alive, and I never knew I always thought like, what was the purpose, right? Why are we making fun of each other? Yeah, we getting kicks and giggles out of it, but what's the purpose? You know, what's the end game? And there never was an end game. You know, but we seen it on TV. You know, we watch Kings of Comedy, we watch Comic View, all the comics. We watch these people make fun of others, and especially black people. It have always been a verbal attack, and now, you know, we know where it comes from. We know where it comes from. You know, we're not supposed to be talking about one another. You know, Yahawashi wasn't going around talking about people's discrepancies. You know, if this person had, you know, any, you know, malfunctions with his body or anything, you know, out of the norm, you know, we wasn't supposed to be talking about him. Yahawashi didn't talk about him, you know. Nobody was being made fun of. Only here in Babylon, we do that, you know, and it's dozen. So when you see dozen, always remember that term, that word, and when I'm telling you, you know, dozen is racist, you know. In a dozen eggs, dozen this, dozen that. That's what they did to us. They sold us in a dozen, 12. You know, that number 12, right? 12 tribes of Israel, 12 is very special. 12 is very special. And I want y'all to know that when we got off the boats, you know, the ones that was fighting back, they said they were disobedient and sold them in a dozen and beat them, and you know, it was called the cheap dozen. It's the cheap dozen. That's what they call them, the cheap dozen. You know, so when you be like, I can get a dozen eggs for cheap, I can get a dozen, you know, apples for cheap. Remember that. That's what they, you know, coined it, termed it. That's what they said about us. And it went right into the black community. So if you see people in a crowd, you see people standing in a circle, humiliating one another, talking bad about one another, his hair, his skin color, you know, you're black, your hair is snappy, you're this, you're a mama, you don't have any money, and da-da-da. That's what they were doing to us first. Everything starts when you're a kid. That's why the Most High say, you know, guard your heart and your mind and raise the kid up. Raise the kid up. And he should never depart, but you have to raise him up in the word, not in the world. And you know, we be using all these terms and we don't even know where it comes from. Yeah, the term dozen is racist. Because ever since we got over here, they've been selling us in 12s. You know, and humiliating us. And then we humiliate ourselves because they humiliated us. It's just false doctrine, man. Like, we have to break these chains. So if next time you watching something you think is funny and somebody making fun of somebody's eye or the way he looked, the way they talk, walk, act, what they believe and all that, and you're attacking the black community, just know it all started with them. It all started with them, man. We got to do better as people. Let's uplift each other and not talk about each other, not belittle each other. You know, no more of that, you know, songs calling black men scrubs. You know, that one song, y'all know what I'm talking about. You ain't got no hair in the back, jailed up, weaved up. Your hair is messed up. Talking about black women and stuff like that. I remember that as a kid. You know, your hair is so big, you so black, your hair so nappy, your dad ain't even got a job, you don't even have a daddy, your mama, she fat. You know, just look at his holes in his clothes and all this. You know, that was so funny. It never was funny. It never was funny, man. It never was funny. So we just got to do better, man. Find a sense of humor in something else besides talking about one another, your own kind. You know, find a sense of humor in how intelligent you are. Like, wow, man, I didn't know that. That's funny, you know, learn something today. That's where your sense of humor, find a sense of humor, you know, and the Most High coming back to destroy Esau. Find a sense of humor in you doing wrong and looking in the mirror and changing yourself. Laugh at yourself like, man, I got to do better. You know, yeah, look at myself, man. I can't believe I have this tie on and I'm being blue collared and I'm messing with Esau. I'm having babies by Esau. Oh, man. Find a sense of humor in that. Not your sister over there, not your brother over there. You know, black people, the so-called black man, they're so low mentally right now that they don't know their self-worth. Y'all are worth something and you just don't know it because you've been belittled for so long. You know, you've been emasculated for so long. You've been told you're ugly for so long. You're not worthy for so long. You don't have nothing for so long. You'll never be nothing for so long. You know, you're in a place that you're supposed to be, which is below the bottom of the totem pole. You know, the bottom of the food chain. You've been told that for so long. Totem pole up there, they said you at the bottom. You've been dealt the small, you know, the long straw, not the small. You've been dealt the short stick for so long that psychologically you just don't see it any other way. You can't deprogram yourself. But that's what I'm here for, man. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, if y'all like this video, man, like, comment, subscribe. Go check my other channel out, Alphahebrew. That's where I do a lot of teaching. And yeah, man, y'all follow me on Instagram and, you know, just keep the law, statutes, and commandments, keep learning, keep obeying our Father, and being obedient, you know, to the Lord, our Father, Yahweh. And yeah, we're going to keep this thing rocking, man. I'm very proud of all y'all. I'm very proud of my people for waking up and spending their time studying, learning, and reading so we can break these chains. And yeah, man, I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Your boy, Alphahebrew. I'm out.